Have you ever met someone who had absolutely nothing yet still managed to change the world? Not fame, not fortune, not connections, just a burning desire to do something meaningful. Today, I want to tell you the true story of such a person. His name is Samuel. He came from a place many people will never see on a map. A small, quiet village in Ghana where life is raw, tough, and every day is a battle for survival. Samuel was born into a humble family. His father was a farmer, tending to dry soil and praying for rain. His mother sold vegetables at a roadside stall, barely making enough to buy food for dinner. They didn't have running water, they didn't have electricity, and often they didn't have enough to eat. But what they did have was heart. And in the middle of this struggling family was a boy with dreams too big for the world around him. From a young age, Samuel was curious. He would collect broken radios, dismantle old flashlights, and ask endless questions. Where others saw junk, he saw possibility. Where others saw poverty, he saw a path. He dreamed of going to school, of learning how things worked, and maybe building something that could help his people. But dreaming is easy. Living through it, that's the hard part. The nearest school was 7 kilometers away. Every morning before the sun even rose, Samuel would tie his worn sandals, sling a homemade bag across his shoulder, and walk through muddy roads, through scorching heat, through the monsoon rains. He didn't complain, he just walked, because in his heart he knew where he wanted to go. The school itself wasn't much. No electricity, no textbooks, no chairs, just 4 walls and hope. Most of the time they had one teacher for 70 students, sometimes no teacher at all. Still, Samuel sat in the front row, eager, alert, and always asking questions. Other kids laughed at him. "Why do you care so much?" they'd say. "School won't change anything." But Samuel kept going, not because he knew it would pay off, but because giving up was never an option. Then, one day, something changed. A volunteer teacher named Grace came to the village. She was young, bright, and full of energy. Unlike other teachers, she didn't just teach, she inspired. And the moment she met Samuel, she saw something rare. He wasn't just smart, he was driven. Grace gave him old books, stayed after class to tutor him, and most importantly, believed in him. "You're meant for something bigger." "Samuel," she once told him, "don't let this village decide your future." That was the moment the dream became a mission. When Samuel turned 14, there was an announcement. An exam would be held across the region. The winner would receive a full scholarship to a top high school in the city. For Samuel, it was the chance of a lifetime. But how do you compete when you don't have textbooks, teachers, or even a proper place to study? Samuel found a way. He borrowed old notes from former students. He studied by candlelight. He memorized facts while helping his father in the fields. Every moment became a lesson. Every hardship became motivation. On the day of the exam, he walked 3 hours to the center, soaked from rain but full of hope. He took a deep breath and gave it everything he had. Weeks passed. No one knew the results. Then, one morning, the headmaster called his name. Samuel had done it. He scored the highest in the district. He had won the scholarship. There were no fireworks, no big celebration, just tears. Tears from his mother, who had sacrificed so much. Tears from Grace, who had always believed, and silent tears from Samuel himself, who realized that for the first time in his life, his dreams were within reach. The city was overwhelming. Skyscrapers, cars, lights, crowds. For a boy from a quiet village, it felt like another planet. But Samuel didn't let it distract him. He focused. He studied harder than anyone else. He asked more questions. He stayed back after class. And in 4 years, he graduated top of his class in engineering. But his journey wasn't over. In college, he learned about how many people around the world still drink dirty water. He remembered his village, how people fell sick every month from bad water, how children missed school because they were sick. So he decided to do something about it. Using recycled materials and simple technology, Samuel developed a low-cost water purifier. It used charcoal sand and solar power materials anyone could find. It didn't need electricity, it didn't require maintenance, and most importantly, it worked. He tested it in his village first, then in 5, more, then 20. Before long, word spread.